When the clock ticked toward midnight on transfer deadline day, Liverpool fans around the world were glued to their phones, refreshing feeds, checking updates, waiting for the confirmation that England international Marc Guehi was set to become the latest signing under Arne Slot's new era at Anfield. For hours, it looked like a done deal. Liverpool had agreed a $35 million fee with Crystal Palace medical staff were on standby. The player himself had reportedly travelled north with growing excitement. But then in the final dramatic twist that only deadline day can produce, Palace pulled the plug. The reason they had failed to secure a suitable replacement before the window slammed shut, the deal collapsed. Guehi stayed at Selhurst Park. Liverpool were left frustrated but understanding. And the 24-year-old centre-back, who had quietly dreamed of taking the next step in his career, was left to digest a whirlwind. 48 hours that changed nothing in the end, except perhaps his appreciation. For the club and supporters he continues to represent. Now, for the first time since that chaotic night, Marc Guehi has directly addressed Crystal Palace fans in his captain's column ahead of the weekend clash against Sunderland. And while he didn't directly reference Liverpool or the transfer drama, the emotion behind his words left no doubt this was a player determined to give everything for Palace, despite what might have been the captain's column in the Selhurst Park matchday programme. Is usually a place for reflections on recent results, a welcome to new signings, perhaps a rallying cry to the home fans. But this time, the subtext was hard to miss. After coming through two difficult challenges away from home before the break. "It's great to be back in South London this afternoon," Guehi began, before moving on to discuss the Conference League adventure and the sacrifices made by fans following the club in Europe. He praised the travelling supporters who made the long trip to Norway for the second-leg clash against Fredrikstad, recalling how emotional it was to see Palace in Europe again. "We know so many people have worked very hard to see us play in Europe and experience nights just like that," he wrote. "It was great to witness it in person." But then came the telling line, "I wanted to personally thank you for the support we received at both games," he said, referencing the Norway tie and the away win at Aston Villa. "As a group of players, we know the sacrifices so many of you will have had to make. It's never taken for granted." Those 5 words, "I wanted to personally thank you," carried extra weight, because the truth is, only days earlier, Guehi thought he might be saying goodbye. Sources inside Liverpool described the collapse as deeply frustrating, but ultimately out of our control. The Reds had worked quietly and efficiently to reach an agreement with Palace. The fee, $35 million rising with add-ons, was fair for a player. Entering the final year of his contract, Guehi had been on Liverpool's radar for months, admired for his composure, on the ball aerial ability and leadership qualities that belied his age. But as deadline day chaos unfolded, Palace manager Oliver Glasner and chairman Steve Parish faced a dilemma. They had targeted replacements, but deals proved too complicated to complete in time. With no suitable signing coming through the door, they chose to keep their captain rather than risk a defensive crisis. Glasner, writing in his own program notes, admitted his relief. "It is good for us that the window has now shut," he said. "We know the group we will have to work with, and we can focus on integrating our new players." Behind closed. Indoors, though, there was sympathy for Guehi. Palace knew he had been tempted by the chance to join a club fighting for Premier League titles and Champions League glory. But they also knew his character. They knew he would respond professionally with dignity, true to form. Guehi has not sulked. He has not thrown his toys out of the pram or downed tools. Instead, he led Palace out for their first game after the international break, a 3-1 win over Sunderland, with the same authority and focus as ever. Fans noticed social media was full of praise for their captain. "Marc Guehi is pure class," wrote one supporter on X, formerly Twitter. "Would have been easy for him to mope around after Liverpool fell through. Instead, he's leading by example." Again, another added, "Shows the measure of the man, disappointed for him, but delighted he's still ours for now at least." Because the reality is this: Liverpool remain interested. They have not closed the door. If anything, they will now monitor Guehi's situation even more closely, knowing he is out of contract next summer and could be available on a free transfer. Whether Palace try to convince him to sign a new deal remains to be seen. But with every commanding performance, his value, financial or otherwise, only grows. One reason Palace fought so hard to keep Guehi was the club's return to European competition. The Europa Conference League may be Europe's third-tier tournament, but for Palace and their supporters, it represents something historic. The trip to Norway was special. Thousands of fans travelled, turning Fredrikstad's modest stadium into a sea of red and blue. They made things very difficult for us, Guehi admitted of the Norwegian side. It wasn't easy to find a rhythm, but I thought we managed the game with real maturity. Even when things got hectic, defensively, the lads were excellent. With Palace now through to the league phase, more European nights await, and with Guehi still wearing the armband, fans know they have a leader who relishes the big stage wherever it is. Deadline day wasn't only about departures. Palace also completed late deals to bring in Jeremy Pino, JD Canvot and Christantus Uche, all of whom received warm words from their captain. They will all bring a high level of quality to the squad, Guehi wrote. I look forward to playing alongside them. The message was clear: no sulking, no distractions. The focus is on the season ahead, on helping new teammates. Settle on keeping Palace competitive at home and abroad. From Liverpool's perspective, January seems unlikely. By then, Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima, Konate, Jarell Quansah and Joe Gomez will still be competing for minutes, while young defenders like Amara Nallo are coming through the ranks. But next summer, that's different. By then, Van Dijk will be 34. Gomez's long-term role remains uncertain. Konate has struggled with injuries. Liverpool know they must plan for the future, and Guehi available. For free English homegrown Premier League proven, still only 24. Well, you do the maths, Crystal Palace forums have been full of mixed emotions. Some fans fear the inevitable. He's too good not to move eventually, wrote one supporter, Liverpool. City Arsenal, someone will get him. Others simply want to enjoy the time left. If this is his last season with us, let's make it special. Another fan posted, Europe a good league run, maybe even a cup run, he deserves that, Liverpool. Fans meanwhile have been keeping tabs. Many believe Guehi will be wearing red eventually, just not yet. Marc Guehi could have sulked, he could have let disappointment linger. Instead, he has doubled down on his commitment to Crystal Palace, to his teammates, to the fans who sang his name in Norway and Birmingham and will do so again at Selhurst Park. The transfer collapse was dramatic. The future remains uncertain. But the present, it belongs to Palace and to a captain, showing exactly why Liverpool wanted him in the first place. For now, Guehi's message is simple: make some noise, back the team, and let's keep this fantastic run going. Because whatever happens next summer, this season still has chapters left to write.